Howdy folks, it's Tom, your frugal prepper. I am growing some plants. It looks like this is so bright you can't really see it, so let me unplug it for a minute so I can kind of maybe show you what's going on here. So basically I've just got some containers with some potting soil that I had sitting around my garage. And I put some bubble wrap over the top of them because I had that sitting around. I didn't have any clear plastic. And I put some seeds in here. And then I just ran a chain across my shelf here. And then these two lights are suspended off of that chain. And then I can raise them as the plants grow. I can raise the lights with that chain. And I'm going to plug it back in here. So basically, this bubble wrap helps give it a little greenhouse effect and diffuse the light and helps keep it warm and moist while the seeds germinate. Now, I planted in here some, let me turn it around this way so you can see it. See, I got, this is the kale here. Let me get these out, show you. So I've got the blue curled Scotch kale. I've planted some loose leaf. This is an heirloom. The kale's these are all heirloom. This is Grandpa Admire's lettuce, and it's like a multicolored loose leaf lettuce. It's a butter crunch lettuce. It's really sweet. I love it in salads. And it grows really fast. You can just kind of keep picking it and it grows back. And then I put some of this in here. I'm not sure. These are just something I got on sale real cheap. They're spinach mustard when the seeds were on clearance last year. So I threw some of that in there too. But basically, just a few seeds in each row of each one of these containers. They're just like some little Sterilite containers I got at Walmart. Now if I turn these the other way, I could stack 3 across here. But what I'm going to do, I have a third shop light, but it's over there and it died. I also exploded one of these bulbs. I just spent the last hour cleaning up shards of glass. But I'm going to get another shop light, I think, and put it, across here, and then turn these sideways, and then once I get about halfway through January, towards the end of January is when I need to start my peppers and tomato plants. So we'll start all those in a third container over here, and it'll probably just be one of those little seed starting containers. And I grow using the mitt lighter method, and I know there's a way you build a mitt lighter grow box and all that. I just haven't done that yet. But these here are basically just going to be for just basically let these grow for the next few months, and I'll just come in here and pick little pieces of lettuce and spinach and stuff off, make salads, have some freshly grown produce. It's just kind of an experiment. I want to see how it works. If it works out well, I'll probably start this earlier in the fall, like October or something next year, so that I can have more of this all through the winter. Now, the lights I'm using are 4100K. They're a Philips. I went and looked. This sounds kind of bad, but the best place that I found to read about what kind of lights are good for growing plants and what light cycles you want and that kind of stuff is the forums for growing marijuana. Those guys know all kinds of things about growing plants indoors, let me tell you. But for germination time, the 4100K is a pretty optimum range of bulb to have. And then what you'll want to do is you'll want to cover the other light end of the spectrum once the plant gets a little bigger, like once it gets a few inches tall. And then what I'll do is in each one of these bulbs, I'll stick in a lower range, like 2700 to 3000K bulb, and then leave one of the cool white 4100K bulbs in. And that's kind of the poor man's plant growing bulb. If you can't afford, metal halide or high pressure sodium bulbs and that kind of stuff, you can do it with the fluorescent tubes that way. But when they first germinate, and you want a really white light, and then you want a warmer and a white mix together. And then until they germinate, I'll leave these on 24/7. Once they've germinated and grown a little, they'll be off for 8 hours at night and on for 16 hours during the day. Which basically gives the plants time to rest. And then you basically, if you wanted them to go to seed, you can start shortening that daylight cycle down towards the end. I don't want them to bolt and go to seed, so I'll keep it at the 16 hours, and it should pretty much grow indefinitely that way. But it's an experiment. I'll kind of keep you updated on how it goes, but just to see what it would take to grow some food indoors. And then also, these are right now 4 40-watt bulbs, so I could have 3 40-watt bulbs, which would give me 80, 80, and 80, which would be 160, 200, it would be 240 watts. So I'd like to calculate that out by the day, see how much solar panel I would need to get, and put in a battery and an inverter to run the lights, and see if I couldn't run these lights off of solar power. So this would give me a way to grow some food indoors without having to go outside and garden, and I would be able to run it off of solar panels on my roof. I wouldn't have to have a generator or anything running. So it's really probably would be much easier just to bring the sunlight in if I wanted to put a skylight in or something. But I would essentially be using the light to hit a panel and then bringing those panels, the electricity down to run lights, which I'm probably losing like 90% of my energy at least, but I'm just curious if it could be done and if it would work. So just I'll keep you updated and let me know what you guys think. I'd be happy to hear any ideas from people who grow plants indoors or have done anything like this. You get some feedback. Thanks. This is Tom, your Frugal Prepper.